Now, typically the recipe for reading, if something doesn't just make sense and get to go down the oh filter, which means I just get it because it makes sense based on what I know, is frequency, duration, and modality. And what that means is how often you do it, in what way you practice it, and for how long it takes. Different learners require different levels of these ingredients for the recipe. Some learners can do it one time for 2 seconds, and it doesn't matter whether they see it, say it, do it, they got it like that. Other learners could do it 15 times every single day for 2 weeks straight. You have done it with a puppet, you have done it with a body, you have done it in an art class, you've done it in every possible modality you could think of to have Sally understand it. She finally gets it, and then the next day it's like she never saw it before. So different learners have different thresholds of what basically is use it or lose it, because that's what this is. It's use it or lose it, but it depends on how much of these you need to have it stick. The ones who need the most typically get the least. And I don't just mean at home, I mean at school too, because the kids that pick up the skills faster get more time to incubate them, which means if I can learn things in kindergarten, like if I learn the th sound in kindergarten, I'll know it cold by the time the test comes. I'm not even thinking about that in 3rd grade. But for the kids who struggle and lose information each year, we don't teach them a skill till they're ready for it, which means often some of the higher level phonics skills are held off until the last minute of 2nd or 3rd grade, so they're brand new by the time they get to 3rd grade, and they have no ability then to use them with automaticity because they just got them like 3 weeks ago. Whereas little Johnny, who is gifted in 1st grade or kindergarten, he's been playing and manipulating these skills to read and write for 3 years straight. Because we wait to give the lower level learners things until they're ready, and by ready I mean ready to answer the front door. Because the front door is a whole different situation than the back door. They could be lounging out on a lounge chair in their back door, in their backyard, but they haven't built their house yet. They haven't even gotten like the permits pulled for it. But you, as the teacher, are knocking on that front door, meaning you've got a skill, they need to know it, you're not gonna give up. You're like the salesman that won't go away, because your job is to keep knocking. You don't get to say, well, Johnny's not home, oh well, maybe next year. You just keep knocking and keep showing him the flashcard and keep trying to do the activity, and you keep knocking. Not only is Johnny not at the door, there is no door. He doesn't have a house yet. He's in the backyard with a beer, you know, hanging out. Well, not with a beer, because he's a child, I'm sorry. For adult ed, that would maybe be he's in the backyard with his Coke, and he's just hanging out. He's not gonna answer a door. He doesn't know that the door's even there. The back door, however, or the back entrance, is about 1,000 feet wide, and as opposed to the front door, which is only about a foot wide and maybe a foot tall, and you have to be a learner that can contort yourself just right to get through it. The back door is so big, it's even got suction. So if you just peek in to see what the heck's going on, you're sucked in and you learn it by default. So the back door is a whole different situation, and using it, you can give learners access to things much earlier so that the learners that need the most of these things aren't stuck getting the least, and then all of a sudden are hit with the test in 3rd grade.